So, the number one pick, supposedly, it's a guarantee that it's Alex Sarr. It is supposedly a guarantee that it's Alex Sarr, because it is the I don't want to lose my job pick. I'll say there's some of those every year where it's like, even if you don't like them number one, it's like, if you don't take consensus absolute number one and you fail, you're going to lose your job, especially when there's a consensus number one that has been so much as number one as Alex Sarr. But I'm just putting this out there right now. The man is fool's gold. That man is fool's gold. Could he become some exceptional player? Yes. I'm not saying there's no chance, but in my opinion, right now, the guy's fool's gold. He's not going to be rookie of the year. He's not going to come in as rookie of the year. People thinking that he's going to be on the same timeline as Trae Young is crazy. Trae Young is one of those small offensive guards who notoriously fizzle out young. And Alex Sarr is a project player. The number one pick in this draft is Zaccharie Risacher. And the more he plays, the more he's playing his way into that number one pick territory. He is now currently ranked number one by ESPN. He was ranked number one by Bleacher Report. And he is going number one on a bunch of mock drafts because of what he is doing in the Pro A playoffs. In a draft like this year's draft, where it is seen as one of the worst drafts of all time, we have a 6'1" guard that teams are considering taking number one. A 6'1" shooting guard. This is not the 1980s. This is 2024. A 6'1" shooting guard who's not really a point guard. Supposedly, Reed Sheppard is on people's draft boards. Like, Reed Sheppard is not a top 10 pick last year. There's no way. There's no way he's a top 10 pick last year. But he might be going number one. This is where you got to look at Zaccharie Risacher. You got to just look at the production. Yeah, sure. Alex Sarr gave you 9 points. Gave you a couple of blocks. Gave you a couple of rebounds in the NBL, which is a good pro league. A really good pro league. In fact, might be the fourth best pro league in the world after the NBA, ACB, and Pro A. It could well be the fourth best league in the world. And you can maybe argue it, give or take, with the Pro A for third. But then you get Zaccharie Risacher, who just put up much better numbers in the Pro A. And the biggest part of Zaccharie Risacher is he is rising so much in the playoffs. So he has got his team into the semifinals. They went and he had his career high last week of 28 points. And against Monaco. If you guys don't know how good Monaco are by far the best team in France. Monaco, they weren't as good this year as they were last year, but last year I think they made the Final Four of EuroLeague. They're one of the best teams outside the NBA. Honestly, they might beat the Pistons. But Zaccharie Risacher in a playoff game against them, in a semi-final in Monaco. So he's going, like, this is Pro A, one of the best leagues in the world. In their semi-final, game one, he goes and has 21-8, 2 steals, and they beat Monaco. They beat Monaco. Like, it would be the shock of, if they go and beat Monaco in a series, considering, if you guys don't know anything, just how much money and just how good this Monaco team is compared to anyone else in France. Like, you've got Mike James, who could 100% give a team 20 in the NBA a night. He is the biggest hooper. He is a hooper. He is a hooper even compared to NBA players. He's just going to obviously not play the most efficient and give up a lot of points. And he was good coming off the bench for the Nets. He was good coming off the bench for the Suns, but rather than being a bench player in the NBA, he became a legend in Europe, same with Shane Larkin. He, rather than being a damn good bench player at that, in the, like, Jordan Clarkson-esque role, maybe not quite as good, or the Jamal Crawford-esque role, but just this hooper to bring off the bench in the NBA, which he could have done for 10 years, but he's an absolute legend, the all-time EuroLeague top scorer. They have him. They've got other bodies, man. I think Strazel's still playing for them. They have Elia Kobo. A lot of former NBA players are going to be on this Monaco team. But Zaccharie Risacher was probably the best player on the floor as Monaco lost. Like, let's not overthink this. Let's just not overthink this. Let's not, in a draft that's this bad, let's not potentially draft someone that's fool's gold. Like, I don't know, Alex Sarr can jump really high. His quickness isn't crazy. He's not, people are talking about, oh, he's going to be a good shooter. He's, based on what? He's not going to be a terrible shooter. He might end up stretching the floor, but everything with Alex Sarr is he might be this, he might be that, he might be this, he might be that. He's also not ready right now. He's not ready. Like, if you want to swing for the fences, and if you're Atlanta, you might be able to swing for the fences. Like, if you are a team that's on a timeline of, you got 5 years, I'm cool with swinging for the fence on Alex Sarr. If Atlanta were going to blow it up, I'm cool with them swinging for the fences on Alex Sarr. I genuinely am cool for them swinging for the fences on him. But the fact is, the Atlanta Hawks fans have somehow, I've watched his highlights and have tricked themselves into thinking that he walks in as their starting center. He is their third string center next year. I don't think people get that. He is not, as of right now, definitely not better than Clint Capella, even modern Clint Capella, and he's not better than Onyeka Okongwu. He walks in as their third string center. Zaccharie Risacher walks in potentially starting. DeAndre Hunter has been iffy injury-wise. Imagine if you're able to play Jalen Johnson and Zaccharie Risacher, two 6'10" athletic wings who can play both ends of the floor, who can hit some shots. And then you've got, Jalen Johnson's been playing more as much the four as anything, but still that just big, long defensive wing, that prototype of player, they're hard to find. They are hard to find, especially ones that play both ends of the floor. People compare him to Michael Porter Jr. He's not Michael Porter Jr. Michael Porter Jr., just because they look like they have a similar build, people are comparing MPJ to KD. And Michael Porter Jr. catches the ball and shoots every time he touches it. Like, that's literally what he does. That's not what Risacher is going to do. Risacher is going to be a better defender. He's got length. He's going to be a decent enough rebounder, decent enough playing lanes. And he's probably, if Alex Sarr is 7'1", then Risacher is 6'10". Like, that's it. I think they're probably, Alex Sarr is 6'11 and a half without shoes. I think Risacher is probably about 6'8 and a half. And people are being like, oh, but like Risacher wasn't at the combine. Because he's playing in important games of basketball. Like, I don't think people seem to understand that. That, like, the reason he's not at the combine is his team made the playoffs. His team, he's doing well, and he played well enough that his team made the playoffs. And not only that, he's been a playoff riser. So, as far as the ability to step up when it matters, he's proven he can do that. Like, you do not pass on this guy in a draft this bad. He is putting up comparable numbers in the playoffs, other than blocks, to Wemby. Points and rebounds, he is putting up comparable numbers to Wemby. He's obviously not Wembanyama. He's not. But that is just the way you have to look at it. Like, Tidjane Sloan is bigger. He's athletic. He's a freak in the best way possible. Like, but at the same time, when it comes to Sloan, you're looking at this guy who's a freak, but he's not ready yet. Risacher's ready. He's ready to go. And with that, like, you can't overthink this. Like, you cannot overthink this and go for Alex Sarr. You just can't. Like, I know teams are going to do it, and I know the Hawks are probably going to do it. But, like, if you are a Hawks fan, I would be so much on the Zaccharie Risacher hype train because he's so much better right now. And you might be saying, oh, but, like, Sarr has this, Sarr has that potential. You're not wrong. Sarr has crazy potential. But if you're looking for the French man with the most potential, you get Tidjane Sloan. You get him. He has more potential than Alex Sarr. This guy's a 6'9", freak, 6'9", 6'10", freaky athletic wing who can shoot the lights out. But he's not ready yet. I think people have just been fooled with Alex Sarr because they're like, this is a bad draft and this guy has superstar potential. No one in this draft has superstar potential other than it's likely somebody that's drafted 19th is as likely to be a superstar as the one picking this draft. And if the Hawks were blowing it up, by the way, I'd be cool with the Alex Sarr thing. But by the time Alex Sarr is a good enough player to be a starting center in the NBA, Trae Young is going to be probably on the decline. Because a lot of people are like, oh, but like Trae Young's only 25. He's still going to be good he's still going to have 10 years in him. What small offensive guard at 35 was good? Like, these guys have been, these small offensive guards like Trae Young, because of how bad they are on defense, they've got to give you exceptional offense to even be worth having on the floor. And as they get a little bit older, a little bit slower, like, as soon as they become more of a liability on defense than they are a plus on offense, they're gone. They're out of the league quick. And that's the thing is, like, Trae Young has got 3 to 4 more years. And by the end of that 3 to 4 more years, if Alex Sarr is a starter, then he's on track to what he's going to become. Whereas Risacher is going to come right in, probably start, and even if he doesn't start, give you really good minutes off the bench. Alex Sarr is going to be the third string center for the Atlanta Hawks, especially if they're not tanking and trying to win. If they are tanking and want to develop him, cool. If they find a way to get their picks back from San Antonio, then forget everything I've said in this video. Because yes, the only one of these two that has absolute superstar potential is more than likely Alex Sarr. But I just think he's fool's gold. I think you can't draft an Ousmane Dieng type guy who you are just drafting for potential at number 1. You just can't do it. You can't draft a guy who's not going to be a starter straight away. And for Atlanta Hawks fans that think he's going to be what pushes them over the edge, trust me, you are just watching highlights. You are overly believing the hype. Trust me on this one. Alex Sarr is probably going to be decent. If you are trying to win next year, it doesn't matter that you need a big. You can get a better big than Alex Sarr right now in free agency. You have got 2 that are already better than him. It's just not the right move if you're the Hawks. And Risacher, do not overthink this. Get the guy that's going to help you right now if you want to go for it, and that is Zaccharie Risacher.